Hi there, welcome to my channel. One more question that I want to answer today is, should I enroll into medical sales college program in order to get into medical sales? I think it's a valid question. It's interesting that I have not received this question in the last 2 years since I've started recording my videos and answering your questions about medical sales and medical device industry. I think it's definitely a valid question. I understand why people are asking. As always, before I begin, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, leave me your comments, questions, and I'll reply to them as soon as I can. And now let's talk about medical sales college. Well, first of all, I need to make a disclaimer. I've never taken the course. I've never been part of the medical sales college, so I cannot tell you fully what I think about it, because my knowledge will be relatively limited and I will be relying on the information I know from, obviously, from online resources, from reading about it. So I have not taken the course. Second of all, I need to tell you that it's only applicable for American market, so it's very limiting, even though American market is huge, but it's limiting geography-wise, and I am based out of Canada. So if you think about it, it was not applicable to me, and 10 years ago when I was starting, it was not even available. I think the company started working about 10 to 12 years ago. I started about a decade ago, and it was simply not available at the time, and I didn't know about it. In fact, I found out about medical sales college only when I started writing my own program and my own training for people in medical sales in Canada, because it was not available at the time. Nobody was doing it. And I was looking for options, and I wanted to write a course because I am always voting for proper training, industry standard training for everyone working in such regulated, such important industry like medical devices, and especially for people who are working in surgical rooms, in operating rooms, supporting surgeries. It's extremely important to have that baseline knowledge of certain disciplines like anatomy, physiology, sterile field, how to work in the surgical environment, and also to know how to sell, how to communicate with different types of stakeholders. So that was the motivation behind my own training that I started writing. And this is when I found out about Medical Sales College, and I think what they do, it's a great initiative. I think, again, because I vote for education all the time, because I think it's important to be better in what you do, to learn and know what you are doing, instead of just going for a year without not knowing what's going on in your industry when you're brand new. So from that perspective, I think what Medical Sales College is doing is great. And when I look at their website, when I look at the resources they do provide some hands-on training. I think it's great. Hands-on is always great. It's better than you can read about things multiple times, but hands-on is definitely something you want to see once and touch once and understand. They provide some virtual reality surgical-based training. I think it's a good preparation for situations when you're working in a surgical environment. It's important to know. They do help people with hiring. I think they partner with different companies, and those companies are drawing people from the program and hiring them from a program. If you are interested in medical sales, I think you should look into it and consider it as an option. But I also see some downsides of it. For example, I know it's a costly program. I think it costs about $14,000 all in all. Even let's say $12,000 all in all for education for an 8 to 12 week program. It might be a barrier for some people, and actually that's partially why I was motivated to put together a short program, but available to everyone, that doesn't cost much money, but everyone can actually go and take it, so they can at least understand what the industry is about, what the job is about, and then make a decision if they want to invest more and they want to pursue. Because I think, again, coming from my experience, when you get into this industry, not much information is available, not many resources are out there, so it's hard to even comprehend what is it medical sales. And I wanted to give that knowledge to people. It's like, this is how it works, this is what it's all about. you need to be prepared to do this, this, and this, and this. And let's say you think, yes, I want to do so. Maybe then it's a good idea to take and enroll in the classes like that and spend money, because it's an investment on your end into your future career. But if you ask me, is it necessary to take training in the college in order to get into medical sales? I would answer you no. I do know a lot of people who got into the industry without taking that training. And yet I think they were persistent enough and they learned enough about the industry and enough about the process of hiring in those companies. So they did all the right steps and they got their job. So I think it's a good support and supporting tool, and you definitely learn the network, and college has partnership with different companies that can actually hire from them. But at the end of the day, it's your job to find the path, find the job, find the listing, and pursue it. So I think it's not necessary. You can still go ahead and apply and network and talk to people. And I know people who are so driven and they're so good in their social skills. Companies take a chance on those people and hire them without experience. And if you one of those people, I think you have very good chances of getting in, but you need to be persistent, you need to network, you need to talk to people, you need to prove that you know what you're doing and why you want to be in this industry. Another thing to think about when it comes to this program is that it's mostly applicable to very specific specialties like orthopedics, sports medicine, trauma, orthobiologics. So what does it mean? That the program is relatively specialized, but it doesn't cover other specialties. And there are so many different medical specialties and so many different types of equipment and devices out there. So I think taking this program, again, spine, orthopedic, trauma, orthobiologics, regenerative medicine, that's what on their website. I think it's great if that's what you want to do, if those specialties that you're targeting, but all the other specialties, OBGYN, urology, cardiology, I don't know if they teach any of those specialties. So I think for those specialties, it potentially cannot be as useful and applicable. I would suggest to maybe ask more questions about it, because if you are targeting a large industry of medical devices, you should consider that too. If they're only specializing in those 5-6 main ones, what are you going to do with the rest? And if you ask me, what about the 97% placement rate of the company that they have on the website? I don't know. I cannot comment on that. I would not be the right person to ask. I would suggest to reach out to people who've done the program, who've enrolled, who finished, graduated from the program, and ask them, how long did it take them to get a job? Was it easy? Was the program providing that placement, career placement? Ask those questions. I'm not the right person. I think the initiative is great. Do I believe it's true? I don't know. I think it's a very high percentage, but I do not know how many graduates they have and how many companies they're partnering with. So I don't have enough information about it. I heard different stories, different perspective of different people in different places, but I prefer not to collect the rumors and give it to you. I'm giving you my personal opinion, and I think it does look too optimistic to me, 97% placement rate, but I have no evidence to prove it right or wrong. One last thing to mention, and I mentioned it previously in my video, this program is only applicable for in the US market. So only in the States you can actually benefit from this program. If you are like me, if you're in Canada, if you're in the UK, if you're in Australia, because my audience is actually in all of those places listed, I think that program will not be as helpful. So I would suggest to consider some alternative resources. That's again how I started Medical Sales Bootcamp, literally from not having resources locally in Canada available for people to learn about it. So I think geography-wise, think about it. I don't think it will be as applicable for you. I think maybe the barrier to entry is to know what you want and know what you have to do in this industry, because medical sales is not for everyone. And I think while you are enrolling in college, you definitely learn what are the key things that you need to do. What is it that you are expected to do by companies? And companies hire people from that program knowing that they have that baseline knowledge. Again, I always vote for training. I think it's important. But if it's too expensive and it's not something you're willing to spend right away, then you need to make a decision. Maybe you can pursue the same career path, the same trajectory, but without this training, but maybe compensate on networking, talking to people already working in this industry, learning more details to prepare for the interview and how to get to the interview stage. So I think my answer will not be yes or no, should you or should not. I think it's personal choice. You need to decide. Do you have to have it? I don't think so. Would you benefit from it? Most likely you would, because you will feel more comfortable working in this field if you have that training behind you. But this is partially why what I'm doing and I've done before with master classes, with educational programs that I've created, I really want people to get an understanding of the industry and what you are doing. So without a big investment up front, you can understand if it's yours or it's not, and you're not limited by geography, because I think this program right now is limited by geography. It's applicable only to American market, but medical sales happens in different places, everywhere actually, everywhere in the world. So I think from that perspective, think about it if it's for you or not, and it's your choice if you have time and financial resources to invest into it.